Today you're going to start building your final collage. The first thing you should do is go ahead and open up your book to your plan for what your collage is going to look like. You should have this out in front of you as you work. To get started, you're going to go ahead and start by selecting a base. Your base is going to be a large piece of construction paper, and when you find your base, you need to go ahead and write your name, your class, and your color. That way we know whose paper is whose. Please make sure you put your color on your paper, because this paper, if it's gluey and sticky, will be on the drying rack, and that helps me get it back into your folder for next class. Flip over your paper. After you've gotten your base ready to go, the next part is to start building your guitar. So you have a variety of paper choices to work from. You've got textured paper, you've got some printed paper, and you've got a variety of different colors of construction paper. At this stage, you should be working with these larger pieces of construction paper, and it's really important in collage you always work from biggest to smallest. So these are going to be a bigger piece versus these guys should be used for smaller details. Once you've selected your papers, you're going to start by working on getting some of those larger shapes cut out. Now, you don't want to use this to trace or anything, but what I'm going to go ahead and do is take a pencil, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of look at this edge line. It's very organic and flowy, and I'm just kind of trying to match that line that I see. It doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, we're working from abstract, so don't stress yourself out too much. I notice that I have a little bit of a curve right here, and I can decide if I want to put in that rectangle space or not. I think I'm going to leave that out. I can go back and add it in later if I want to. I'm going to take my scissors, use some little nibbles because I'm cutting a curvy shape, and that helps me stay on my lines. I'm also cutting inside so that I'm cutting off the pencil, and that gives me a nice clean scrap that I'm going to go ahead and add to my collage. So when I'm done with this guy, I am not going to glue him on. I'm just going to go ahead and lay him on my paper where I think he's going to end up going. It's really important with collage you're open to being flexible and knowing that your plan that you have here might change when you go to glue things down. So this guy is kind of going right there based on my design. Then I'm going to go ahead and pick another larger area to go ahead and work with. I think I'm going to work with this kind of curvy shape right there. I can stick with the same color. I'm going to go ahead and mix it up, and I'm going to draw in a curvy line right here. This will be one edge, this will be another edge. Now, I always work really big. It's easy to trim things down and make them smaller, but if I am making them too small, I have to start with another piece of paper, and that's going to be really wasteful. I'm also taking my scraps, and I'm kind of just setting them off to the side because those could be something I use later. All right, right now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking this looks too big and too long, so I'm going to go ahead and trim it down a little bit. That's why you don't glue, so you can make an adjustment. Thinking that looks better. Still not 100%, but I can go back and change later. All right, so at this point in time, I need this more organic shape to happen. I'm also looking at my scrap, and I'm thinking I could cut out that shape, but I also have this really nice kind of mirror image that I had left over from when I cut this out. So I'm thinking maybe I want to take this piece like so, and maybe cut it out, and I can create the negative space of that guitar by doing that. Now, I know it might look a little bit weird right now, but I've got that curve shape that I was trying to get, so I'm kind of just playing. I don't know if I like that yet, but I'm gonna leave it there, and I'm gonna keep building and see how I feel later. Now that I've got some of my bigger shapes, I can start working a little bit smaller and more detailed. So I'm noticing I've got like a circle shape here, I've got this rectangle shape here. I've got to make sure I get the neck of my guitar in, the top part of my guitar in. So I can start to use some of my scraps to build with. I think this scrap would be an awesome way to go ahead and make that longer neck piece that I need. Lay that down. I might realize that I need to shift my collage down a little bit based on this. Okay, maybe I'm thinking that I really like how there is like this texture right here. So I'm thinking maybe I want to do a circle. And then on top of my circle, maybe I want to do some layers with my more textured pieces. So maybe that's going to be my circle. I don't know if I like how light that color is. I feel like because it's a hole, I might need to select a darker color. So maybe I did this and I don't really like this scrap and maybe I want to try it somewhere else. Cut this into something different. Let's see, what else could I try? Maybe I want to go grab a black scrap, or I could grab like a dark blue scrap. Maybe instead of a whole circle, I just want to do a half circle. Okay. Maybe I want to go ahead and add on some of that texture like I was talking about for my strings. That's looking pretty cool. I've got this printed musical paper that you can go ahead and use. Maybe you want to use that for kind of that rectangle bottom part. And maybe I want to go ahead and add some more pieces of texture up the neck of my guitar. Cool. So I'm digging what I'm seeing. At this point in time, I'm gonna go even smaller and I'm gonna start to focus on like those little dots. I can start to think about the pegs on the top. So like I said, working really big to working smaller. As you are doing that, you're still playing around with your layout. Again, I have not picked up a bottle of glue. I've just gone ahead and laid out shapes. If you feel like you're ready for glue, you want to check in with Miss Bergman because she wants to double check that this is looking good and she feels like you're ready. I also would recommend that you take your Chromebook and take a picture of this because if you run out of time, you'll know exactly what you were doing last time and you'll be able to lay that out for the future. Have fun making your guitars today, guys.